Washington, B.C. is one of the most iconic episodes of Ben 10 Classic. It sets up a lot of mainstays for the franchise, like Sumo Slammers and of course, Dr. Animo. It's the first time we see Forearms and Stinkfly, and we get a nice little moral about how being a hero is its own reward.
Being a hero isn't about others knowing you did something good. It's about you knowing you did something good.
That's parallel with Dr. Animo, who is a sore loser. He got denied an award he felt he deserved because he was performing twisted experiments on animals. We then see him reanimate a woolly mammoth and a T-Rex. Maybe he should have gotten the award, I don't know. Whatever this dude did must have been very impressive. Or just more ethical, probably. We recently put Dr. Animo on our Mount Rushmore of Ben 10 Classic villains, and we got some pushback from people saying he's too lame. But I think he's very iconic to the classic series, and he's just so much fun to watch. Now, this is a remaster of an old review that came out on August 15th of 2023. A lot has changed since then, like my knowledge of how to work around copyrighted materials, so I'm remastering this episode so it can be monetized and so more people will watch it. We've grown a lot in the past year, and some of y'all don't even know that we covered every episode of Ben 10 Classic like this, episode by episode. So here's an old review, we hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, so today we're watching episode 2 of season 1, Ben 10. It's called Washington, B.C. for British Columbia.
Yeah, that's why it's called that.
This is a fun episode. There's a lot of Ben 10 lore introduced into this.
It's very corny.
It's very corny.
Down to earth corny episode.
Oh yeah. Like this is the first time we see Forearms, it's the first time we see Stinkfly.
First time we see Gray Matter too. The only returning alien would be Heat Blessed. Everything else we see in there is completely new.
This is true. Let's talk quickly about like the plot and like the story of the episode.
Right.
Does Ben learn a lesson in this episode?
Yes, and it's an interesting one. You know, it's like being a hero. You save people because it's the right thing to do. It's not because you want a reward afterwards. But I think with Ben being a 10-year-old, most 10-year-olds who get superpowers, they'd want something in return. And in this case, it's a weird request, but he wants the Super Slammer Sumo Slammer.
Golden Sumo Slammer card.
Yeah, and it's interesting you get that out of a cereal box, but you know.
It kind of works as like this is something a 10-year-old would want.
Yeah,
it's sort of like a Yu-Gi-Oh Pokemon thing.
Yeah,
but it's also sort of like I don't know. What's your takeaway of like Sumo Slammers as a series before we like rewatch all of it and see what it is?
I think the video game episode was probably the best one. Other than that, I think it's very irrelevant. It's just something that it's part of the Ben 10 lore at that point. You know, Sumo Slammers is going to be there in some capacity at least once a season.
There's a very funny bit in, I think it's Alien Force or Ultimate Alien, where it's Ben and Kevin watching the reboot.
They kind of messed it up. It's like 5 years later and the bad guy, Kenko, has teamed up with the hero, Ishiyama.
Commenting on the fact that itself is a reboot. Sumo Slammers is just one of those elements that's stuck around. It's kind of one of Ben's motivations for stuff, or is like his big hobby. It's like they're, you know, like Itchy and Scratchy from The Simpsons. It's like that. Just that's his big thing he loves. Yeah. I don't know. It's a fun kind of comic book message to learn, like a Spider-Man message. Like It's not quite like
it's a lesson that a kid would have to learn, not a full-fledged adult.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's something Spider-Man would have to learn because like Spider-Man in the beginning was selfish. He wanted to get the wrestling career so he could make money. Yeah. Ben kind of learns the same message of like, I don't do this because I get rich and famous. I do this because I'm helping people and I get to save people.
It's a tough pill to swallow. They wrap it up nicely in a 22-minute segment.
It is a good kind of message, and we get Animo, who's like the foil to Ben, where his whole motivation for creating zombie dinosaurs, and I mean I'm getting a little ahead of ourselves.
Mutated animals.
This is a spoiler alert, by the way. We didn't say spoiler alert the last time.
You know, the show's been out like
if you're watching
20 years.
If you're watching like a podcast review of a show, you should probably assume spoilers.
Yeah. 2023, the show came out, 2005?
2006, something like that.
Something like that.
Animo, he's a good, and for longtime series fans, you'll know that Animo is like one of the recurring villains.
For sure.
A big part of the show. He's
like the villain of the week that you'll see 2 to 3 times a season.
Yeah, and I think he's sort of like anytime we cut to a different timeline or a different the Ben 10,000 episode, they crash land in the future and they're fighting Animo.
First thing they're doing is fighting Animo.
Yeah, like the Secret Saturdays come in, and it's like people who are fans of Secret Saturdays might not know Ben 10, but it's like they're fighting Animo, and that kind of works too because he's sort of like
because of the guy on the Secret Saturdays.
Yeah. He's like a weird Yeti guy. Yeah. And they have a lot of like weird creatures in that anyway, so it fits. But Animo, and I think we looked up his name. It's Dwight something.
Dwight Schultz.
Dwight Schultz, good at memory. He is the only voice actor. I don't know if the only voice actor, but he's one of the main voice actors for one of the villains that like returns for all the like
they kept him around. And
yeah.
Was there? It was voiced by Dwight.
Yeah, so I think he kind of takes some ownership over that role, and I love that he does because he sounds like you pointed it out when we first watched it. He sounds like Mung from Chowder.
From Chowder,
It made me laugh. I'm like, oh yeah, it's the
That's
same
him.
voice.
Schnitzel, you and your allergies. Now it looks like we're out of cinnamony.
I need to claim the award I so richly deserve.
He's sort of the foil to Ben as far as like he is so selfish, even though he's like a grown ass man.
Yeah, he's not
grown
supposed to
adult.
be selfish, but he's exactly what Ben would turn into if they didn't straighten him out. Is the whole reason he was doing all he wanted was the recognition for his work. He wanted that award, so he did everything in his power to try and get it, much like Ben wanted the Sumo Slammer card.
Ben could be selfish with this stuff, and I think that's kind of where Max comes from, because
Grandpa
Max
Max.
is the one. Max and Gwen too. They're both this like heart. You know, they kind
trying
of
to keep him grounded,
keep him grounded. They keep him like
keep him human.
Human.
It's
Exactly.
very easy to get away with the fact that you're still human, even though you have the powers of 10 virtual gods. You know.
Yeah, virtual.
At the touch of a button.
So I think that's sort of where we come away with like Ben does have that heart of a hero, and he'll do whatever he can to save people.
Right.
But he needs to kind of like circle back around to like, why am I doing this?
Yeah. We need to talk about the massive character development that is Heat Blast from episodes 1 and 2.
Yes.
Because not believable. Just saying.
What's wrong? You don't think it's believable?
They start him out. Heat Blast is the first character you see in the first episode of Ben 10, and he accidentally sets an entire forest on fire. The kid has no idea how to use them or anything. You cut to episode 2. The opening sequence is him saving these people from a burning building. He's able to absorb all the fire into his body, and then he makes a vortex of fire to teleport them out of the building.
He also does like a Qui-Gon Jinn, like he shoots a laser beam that like cuts out the window. Yeah.
So he knows how not only to manipulate the flame, he can like burn it down to a laser point. This is all from one episode to the second. And you mentioned, off screen, they were in like Yosemite or something.
It's Yosemite
going to Washington, D.C.
Washington, D.C. So you can kind of argue like, oh, I'm sure he's been back and forth. And they even kind of like later on in the episode, Gwen's like, oh, butterfly. And he's like, stinkfly.
Yeah.
And he says, no, stinkfly. Like he's trying to like reassess.
Yeah.
He's like, I already came up with names for everyone. We're not changing them now.
Yeah, that's true. So this isn't the first time. It's the first time we, as the viewers, see Stinkfly, but he's probably seen him before. Turned into him.
I don't want to rush past the vortex of fire, though.
How did you learn that?
I don't know.
Who said, you know what?
It's not even the fact that he does it. Like, it's cool enough move to do, but it to me, it's just unbelievable that he's like. And I know unbelievable is like sort of a.
It's the whole shtick of the show.
We get it. He's a kid with these unbelievable alien powers on the watch. It's fine. But what's so funny to me is that like the human beings he saves survive, and not only human beings, the cards that the little kid has are perfectly fine.
Which, if you think about it, right, he's able to not set them on fire, but the very next scene, he's in the rust bucket, setting the seat on fire because he's just sitting on it.
Yeah,
it's a whole bit, a whole joke. But then it's like, and we get it. It's a kid show, we're poking at it.
It's a very funny bit.
It's like
because Grandpa Max is like, I should have gotten those asbestos seat covers.
Every time I hear that, though, I think of the mesothelioma stuff.
Yeah, it got banned.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So
and
I'm like,
I don't know. I looked it up. I was like, when did it get banned? In the 80s, it got banned.
80s. So why is he able to get the asbestos? Well, he's been around for a while. Ain't no telling how old.
No. The joke is like, I should have gotten those asbestos seat covers because now he can't get them.
Well, yeah,
they're banned. It was a funny bit.
Shouldn't get him.
I thought it was funny. Anyway, and then we see Gwen like put him out again. She puts out the
with the fire extinguisher. Doesn't do anything. I guess it makes her feel good.
He makes the pun. He's like, "I'm hot."
Yeah,
that's like a Heat Blast thing. He's just gonna keep saying
punny. The show has so many. Washington D.C. into Washington B.C. I mean, they're just all over the place.
They were so proud of that specific joke because they say that a couple times.
Yeah, they do. I mean, the show episode
title is called that. I kind of do want to talk a little bit about Heat Blast design. We didn't really touch too much on it the first time. I don't know, great design, amazing
really good
design. And like inside of the like the magma bits, they kind of have like that. Speaking of Chowder, they kind of have that like how Chowder's clothes would move, like they would, or no, Chowder would move, but the clothes would stay kind of.
Yeah, it was like the weird felt on it. Yeah. That was cool.
That's sort of what you get from Heat Blast. Like when you look in his magma, it kind of stays the same, and then, or it's not even stay the same. It's like a different animation loop. It's like a different layer or something.
Yeah.
Cool. Anyway. Heat Blast, is he the hero that you want to save people from a burning building, or is it sort of like
what we were saying, like before we saw how much he had like learned by being heat blast.
Yeah.
When it first opened, we were like, why is he heat blast in a burning building? You know what I mean?
But you think about it, it is kind of genius with what he knows now. Like he can.
Well, you could do because the thing is, he doesn't really have any water powers yet. You know what I mean?
No, I mean he doesn't get water powers until like well into Ultimate Alien.
Yeah. And you could do like Big Chill and Alien Force.
But that's like ice.
You
I
can
mean,
still
I guess
put
he
out the
could still
fire.
put out the fire.
The closest you have to just straight putting the fire out is maybe like Forearms does like a mega clap. You know what I mean? You've seen it with Hulk.
Oh, yeah.
It does like a mega clap. I'm
The
pretty
Mega
sure
Clap, he does it.
he's done it a few times.
Like the
in
weather
show.
episode
Yeah,
with
yeah,
like that robot or something. I'm thinking
exactly.
about that one.
So I mean, he could have done that, but other than that, you can't put the fire out. So what? Diamond Head's probably the best to save them because he can just pick them up and walk out.
I think not Heat Blast. I think Forearms has like kind of scaly like armor on him or something.
But I mean, he's straight up crystal.
That's true.
You could also even do Stinkfly. Is that
He
goo?
could shoot
is it
the goo.
flammable, or is it? Can it just?
I
is
think
it like a.
I was looking up some stuff earlier. I think there's times when it's flammable and there's times when it can like put fires out.
Oh, okay. Just
So-
whatever eye it shoots out of.
Right,
Well,
yeah.
The left side
if he
is like.
spits it, maybe it's like it puts out fire, and if he
yeah.
shoots it at the eyes, it's flammable.
Right.
Maybe he like mixes it on the go in his body or something.
I don't want to think about that one. Nope.
Stinkfly is gross.
We're moving down to that.
Moving on. So the fire is just a diversion for
Some jewelry thieves.
a jewelry like robbery.
Yeah.
What is the deal with that? Who sets a fire in a residential area?
And then goes like it was like 20 blocks.
It was
to
a
go
while.
Still, like you couldn't put it right beside it.
Just
you know what I mean?
I was thinking about the Incredibles during this because they save people from a burning building and then they accidentally jump into a jewelry store.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like what kind of jewelry store is right next to like a burning building or like just
Right.
a building in general?
Well, I mean, I don't think they're like, oh, this is definitely going to be a burning building later. They don't know.
I understand. Well, I'm just saying like an apartment complex would be like a residential thing, and then like
The jewelry.
it's a bigger city. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
I mean, most
I'm
of the time you
splitting
have the
hairs.
apartments above store shops too.
That's
you know?
true. That's
So,
true.
It is. I just think the distance between. And again, we're nitpicking. We understand this is a TV show, but you know,
Well, it's just funny because like
you're dissecting
Ben.
a show at 20 years old. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
it's true. I mean, but they're like they wanted Ben to do two things. They wanted Ben to save people from a building, and they wanted him to
Stop the bad
stop
guys.
the bad guys who were just objectively bad. They're robbers. They're stealing jewels.
And that's when you start seeing and it's going to be a running theme throughout the entire Ben 10 series, is just as he's about to apprehend him, the watch time's out, he's back as a 10-year-old, and it's like, it's a very comical thing. As a kid, I was very frustrated, because for me, it's like, you're a superhero, bro, get your
Yeah.
crap together, you know what I mean?
But it's not. It's the fault of the watch. It's a
Right.
story device. It's not like.
And I understand that, but it's like, of course, it'll be a running theme of where, like, he never picks the right hero. Every time he wants to be the hero, it's not the one he wants.
Well, and that doesn't even happen in these first two episodes. Like
No,
he
we
picks-
just deal with the timeout a lot in this
Yeah,
episode.
yeah.
The timeout is what's really shown as a fault of the watch.
But it's like it's perfect for a storytelling device because it's not ultimate power. Because
Yeah.
when you have ultimate power, it's boring.
You're right.
Even some of the later episodes, you're like, why don't you just pick Alien X and you could just
Yeah,
figure
yeah,
this out like super quick?
Bro, spoilers.
Oh, spoiler alert! You're right.
Oh, I have so much beef with the premiere of Alien X, bro. I want you to know that right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was very funny. These robbers are so crazy. Like, they set a fire to cover up a jewelry theft,
Yeah.
store theft, and then they also like I don't know. They're just driving at one point and they look in the rearview mirror. It's old man in an RV,
yeah.
and they make a face. They're like,
What? Are we in? What? Is
What's
this a
happening
speeder
here?
behind us? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I do love the common sense they have. A big, like, molten lava man comes up, breaks the door down, says, "Get out. You're under arrest," essentially. And they go, "Yeah, okay. You know,
You're right, brother. You
can't
want
argue
it?
with that logic.
You got it.
Please
yeah.
do not light me on fire."
But he says like, you want a permanent sunburn.
Yeah.
Like it's such a. It's just like a little kid trying to make.
Yeah,
a cool
exactly.
line.
He's trying to be intimidating, but he's 10 years old.
He's 10 years old. Also, talking about 10 years old, dude throws a fireball out the window of the rust bucket to stop these guys. He burns their tires.
Yeah.
Slams them into a
The fact that
wall.
they're still, bro, the impact level.
I'll pull it up.
Their bodies should have went flying through the freaking windshield. No way they're wearing their seatbelts. They're criminals.
They are criminals.
You know what I mean? Criminals don't wear seatbelts.
After that, we get Dr. Animo's introduction,
Yep.
which the landlord like walks into his apartment. It's a hilarious little intro. It's like a typical villain. It reminds me a lot of like Dr. Octopus in Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
I'm talking a lot about Spider-Man, but like
There's very teenage superheroes. You know what I mean?
it's much and like I don't know the Raimi Spider-Man movies are very
Right.
like corny kind of
Corny
action
comic
booky.
book. Yeah.
So
Exactly.
it works.
There will be a lot of parallels. Just get used to it.
and it's that sort of time period where it's like this is how we do like superheroes
yeah.
on on film or whatever.
Right. It's funny. It's dorky.
Yeah, it's goofy, whatever.
Not too serious.
We start with Animo's landlord, and he walks up into his house. And my first thought is like, this got to smell like a zoo up in here.
Oh yeah, there's just a bunch of animal boxes. You know, you see frogs and birds flying around and reptiles.
You hear monkeys and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Like
Where the monkeys are, they're probably green too, because
cages.
everything Animo touches is just green. You know what I mean?
Which is a good like parallel between Ben, because Ben's got that like sciencey like bright green.
Yeah,
Animo's
neon.
very dingy, gross
Yeah,
green.
gross, slimy.
But
Kind of like
they're both
stinkflies
green,
you know?
yeah, a little bit. But they're both like they both have green to kind of connect them together.
Yeah.
Like they're both kind of selfish about what they want.
Green with envy.
There you go. And he's very jealous. That's his whole motivation.
Yeah,
really.
his whole motivation is get a prize that he thought
like a
directly
trophy.
with
It
him,
wasn't.
yeah.
It's
It
like
wasn't
nothing.
even that big of a
Who
deal.
cares?
Yeah.
Anyway, but we see the landlord walk in, and then Animo's just like all grimy, gross sitting
Yeah.
there, and he's like, "All my money," like because the guy's hounding him about rent.
Yeah.
Which is another Spider-Man joke.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's just broke.
What is my rent?
It's 2023. We're all still asking where our rent is.
Exactly,
you know what I mean?
bro. Exactly, bro. So, but that's a funny enough introduction. Like, I don't have any money. I'm a social parasite. I'm just trying to like, mess with my animals,
You and me
bro.
both, brother. Let's go.
What is he even doing to those poor animals? They say later on in the episode he's like a veterinary science. Like
Yeah, so he's doing tests on them.
clearly, but like I don't know what he's doing. Like, is he testing shampoo? Like, is he just like?
That's his side gig, you know? Yeah. He's working for a pharmaceutical company.
There you go.
Hey, give me all your rejected animals, because I got some other experiments I want to run on them later.
But no, of course he's like, and he's got kind of a sense of humor. When he first shows up, it's like he's just sort of like a weird, kooky looking, and his skin is green.
Yeah. He straight up tells his landlord, "Yeah, I would pay you rent, but it's all going to my research." So
What is that? What are you talking
you got to
about?
understand. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna tell my landlord, my roommate landlord, it's just like, hey man, all my money goes into podcasting.
Yeah.
Sorry, I gotta just spend every dime I
Tell
got.
the bank mortgage is it's the mortgage, or I could be buying Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I'm sorry. You know, like, who says that? You know what I mean?
It's a stupid. Like, you need your house to live in. Anyway, he's a great character. Just so like bitterly evil.
Yeah.
Like, he's such a bad person.
Right.
But the landlord too is kind of like skeezy
He's
a little bit.
The landlord, you know.
Yeah, typical landlord. Am I right? But no, they, the landlord makes a joke. He's like, "Pony up the cash," or "Pony up the money," or whatever.
Yeah.
And Dr. Animo's got this
Play on
little
words.
sense of humor about him. He's like, "Oh, that's funny. You said pony," even though I thought he expected him to get a horse
You
out.
never see a pony in this entire episode. You know what I mean?
No.
So it's like,
It,
you know.
Well, he says
It was
pony
a
up the
very
green, or
tangible, like, connection between animals. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
What
it's-
other saying could you say besides that?
yeah, I don't. Yeah, you're a snake, Animo. Snake. Oh,
But you don't see snake either.
Yeah.
You see like 3 animals. 4.
4 tops. Yeah. Anyway, I kind of get the idea that Animo is like experimenting on himself. Do you get that idea at all? Like, he's got
With those
green
nails, bro. Yeah,
Yeah.
nails were like, or those. You know, he was ahead of his time. You know what I mean? You know?
He's got the like clip-on nails.
Yeah.
Where he's doing like ASMR with them and
Yeah,
stuff.
dude. He was just, 15 years a little too early. People didn't respect it back then.
They didn't get it.
Yeah.
His vision was. We see his vision now.
Yeah.
But I think his teeth are kind of crooked and gross, and
Yeah,
like he's got green
is
skin.
green. He himself is green.
Yeah,
you know,
which is it's like a comic book thing. Like, oh, this gross
the bad
old
guy
man
is
could be
going to
green.
be a different color than like most people would be.
But I think in this instance, I want to believe that he like experiments on himself
Yeah.
with like frog DNA or lizard DNA or something.
I would believe it. It never outright. I don't think it ever says that. But
Well, they never say it, but they show an old photo of Animo later in the episode,
And he's not
just
green.
like a Caucasian.
yeah,
And he's got longer, like a ponytail or brown hair. His
Yeah.
hair's gray now.
ponytail too.
Yeah, you never trust
Yeah.
those freaks.
No wonder he didn't get an award
Pull up a picture of forearms from
from Alien Force.
Alien
Yeah.
Force. Yeah.
I
Anyway,
liked, yeah.
we were just talking about that because forearms is in this episode. We were looking through all the forearms designs.
One of the best voices of the aliens for sure. It's
Yeah.
got to be Forearms.
Oh,
his
yeah.
voice.
So yeah, Richard McGonigal does a great job. I think his voice is very like deep in this first couple episodes. Like he's in.
I think it gets a little bit higher pitch later because I remember
Yeah,
him
yeah.
saying like "Saved by the Bell."
Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, it's a little higher.
It gets higher pitched in the second or third season.
Yeah, when like the forearm lady starts hitting on him, I think that's the first time I noticed.
Yeah. What a great cast of useless characters.
Their weakness was chocolate.
I know, what the heck.
You know, each their own. My weakness is chocolate.
Yeah,
But
my
because I
weakness
hate
is
it.
Just any food.
Oh,
You don't like chocolate, that's right.
we've discussed this.
What's up with that?
Not talking about it. It's
You
a
like
Ben 10.
brownies though.
Ben 10, yeah. I mean, yeah, brownies are good, but milk chocolate's just gross.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Bunch of Europeans don't like milk chocolate. They say Hershey's tastes like vomit.
Well, you know what they say. Broken clocks right at least twice a day. You know what I mean? There's something I can agree
Don't
on.
be mean to Europeans. Where are we at here? Animo mutates a frog,
Yeah.
Which
And
is a
he
sick-
eats the landlord.
he chews him and
I
spits
don't know
him
if
out.
it was confirmed a frog or a toad. He looked a little toady to me.
Little toady. I think I can probably figure out. Anyway, whatever. It's a frog or a toad, one of the two.
Yeah.
But it's very cool. It's got like horns.
He gets like 2 more eyes or something because Animo's whole shtick is like he accelerates their evolution, right? He mutates them.
I wouldn't want to ride on that thing either. Like it kind of
doesn't
hops
look-
very
yeah,
like
it's not gonna be pleasant, especially for a male
a male.
to
Exactly.
be riding on a frog like that. If Animo wasn't thinking about kids, he's definitely not having them now. You know what I mean?
I do like his like horns and like he's got like a bit of a horn on the front
Yeah.
there. Anyway, that's creepy. I love that design. I think that's a classic Ben 10 villain.
Right.
Most of the times Animo's there. I'm not gonna say all the times, but like anytime Animo's there and it's like, you know, we're kind of just gonna throw away like, oh, Ben 10's back to fight again. Here's Animo. You know, the frog is like one
The
of
frog
Animo's,
is almost always there when you see Animo. If you
Yeah.
see Animo, you're seeing the frog.
which I mean, the frog doesn't. You don't see the frog turn back into normal afterwards either,
Yeah, no, just the bird and the
and the T-Rex like deteriorates and all that.
mammoth.
The mammoth. Well, I don't think we see the mammoth, but
You never see it again.
we'll get into it. So yeah, he spits out the landlord. He eats the rich.
He's not rich though, because he's not paying him his money.
He's broke.
He's probably just as broke as Animo. He's got his landlord coming
He
to
can't
him.
even afford hair.
Yeah,
He's bald.
bald man. You know?
Dr. Animo afterwards, he's like, I need to finish this thing.
Yeah, he's missing parts.
It already seems finished to me.
Yeah,
you
I
did
mean,
plenty.
you did what you needed to do.
You did plenty.
What are you missing?
Anyway, he sees a commercial on the television and he's like, the supermarket has all the things you need, and dude's like,
The
I'm
Mega-
gonna go.
Yeah, the Mega Mart has everything you're gonna need, all the way from cereal to components to just completely change the physical genetic makeup of an animal.
You just need a couple of components.
Mm-hmm.
But
It's
he
right
says
there by
it's
the
like,
batteries.
he's like, the doctor is in.
Yeah.
No, he's like, just what the doctor ordered.
It's more puns, you know.
Love it. Gotta love it.
So that's when you first meet. They kind of run into each other, and that's when we get to the gray matter issue. Because
So he's going to the supermarket, and then Ben, Grandpa, and Gwen are at the supermarket trying to buy octopus.
yeah,
Canned
Grandpa Max
octopus.
just has a crazy palate.
Yeah, this is one of the classic Max bits, and I
Yeah.
love what's funny.
Classic Max. you know?
Classic old Grandpa. You know what's funny too is like they're like, let's go to the pet aisle, and it like sets up the Animo stuff.
Yeah,
But it
yeah.
also Gwen's like, are you gonna look for our breakfast?
Yeah,
there?
yeah, yeah,
Like,
it's like-
it's such a
And,
perfect
you know, he's
setup.
probably like, oh, no, I was definitely not actually doing
No,
that.
takes
you know
the
what I mean?
turtle out of the cart.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know? But Ben's looking around for his sumo slammer.
Which is in cereal boxes, so he's on the cereal aisle, and this is when you first see gray matter, which is supposed to be the super smart alien, but he's like this big.
Yeah.
So he only uses them for his size to look in, and we discussed it beforehand. There's
If he'd
like
have thought
4
it
other
out.
aliens that are looking for it better. You got
Ghost
Ghost Freak, who
Freak.
could just phase through and grab
Yeah,
them all.
yeah.
You got Four Arms, who could open 4 boxes at once.
Forearms would be a bad pick because you're in like a crowded supermarket. You got like
I don't
your
think
big-
Ben cares about tact at all.
Yeah,
You
well,
saw the
no, he
cereal
cares
aisle.
about tact because he picks the frog, even though he does like and ultimately just destroy all the boxes
Yeah,
anyway.
But then you got Accelerate. You could open 20
that
of
would have been
them.
my pick.
The best one.
Yeah, even though you're still opening the boxes, maybe Ghost Freak's
He's
the
opening
best pick.
super fast.
Yeah,
Just it's so many different, and that's my main problem with gray matter. You never, and we discussed this too. He never picks gray matter for his brain. It's
Yeah.
always on accident or just because he's small.
one of the main reasons I think gray matter is such a big part of the Omnitrix and it's like one part of the rotation is because the creator is a Galvin. You know, what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
He has to put his own
He's
little
like, hey,
flavor in there.
if you ain't getting but 10 aliens, one of them's gonna be me. You know what I mean?
And I don't know if they ever talk about this or like if this is like canon or whatever, but like upgrade species is called galactic mechamorph or I'm sorry, galvanic mechamorph. So like the Galvins made the upgrades.
Yeah.
So like he's like, I'm doing this one which is my species, and it's the species that my species created.
Those should only, honestly, those should be the only 2 on the watch. You're welcome. You know, make your own watch.
So here's your little design. I like Destroy All Aliens, like Kung Fu version.
Yeah.
And he's always got his foot. This is how he is in like the intro when they do like the PowerPoint slide of the aliens.
He just looks bad.
I like the way
Useless.
he looks. He looks like a nerd. Like he's kind of hunched over and he's got this like overbite.
Yeah.
And he's
He's
got
got like
little,
almost
teeth.
a lab coat type way that the white is.
I really do like his eyes though.
Yeah.
He's got the cool like sideways slanted eyes.
It just looks slimy.
He probably is slimy. I don't know.
like
I mean, we'll have to keep watching and see if like they ever say like, "Oh, it's not slime, it's mucus," like they do in
Oh,
Disney's
yeah.
Princess and the Frog.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think he's okay. He's fine for what he is, and like that's sort of what you get with the Omnitrix. You can't really pick the aliens it gives you
Right.
until much later.
And then every time he can, they just take it away again.
Yeah, true. Except for like, I mean, in Alien Force, he kind of figures it out. Like he can like hot switch. He can just be like, "Oh, jet ray to Humongosaur." He does it a couple times. They don't ever talk about
But
how
then he
he
gets
figures it out.
exhausted after a while. It wears out the watch faster.
It wears out the watch. You gotta like wait longer to recharge it or whatever.
So anyway, they run into each other, and that's when Gwyn is like holding gray matter. He's like, "You can't do this. You're a hero. This is not what you're supposed to be using your powers for." And then he times out. So then Animo comes back into the store to get his components.
There's like a little Jurassic Park reference. There's like the ground shaking.
Yeah,
There might
like
even
the
be like a
T-Rex.
water cup
Yeah.
rippling or something, and then just like a big frog comes out of nowhere.
Yeah. So then he
Knocks
could
the
have,
TV
if
on
he
the
hadn't
floor.
been selfish, could have saved the day at the Mega Mart just by going into a hero. But then it shows another foil where Animo transforms a bird, a parakeet, and a hamster. And
Yeah.
the hamster looks crazy.
The hamster's like a big tiger type
Terrifying.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
terrifying. And Ben beats it on his own without the power of the watch. He gets on a scooter,
He gets on a
knocks
scooter.
over some things, ends up trapping them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's like it's that good human element of yes, he's all these, but he's also Ben Tennyson who can do stuff.
He's got the heart of the hero, and there's even like maybe the movie that we're talking about where he has to give up the Omnitrix at the end of it.
Right.
He's like Gwen says to him, she's like, "Don't you understand? Like you didn't need the watch. You were always a hero."
I hate that though because you do need the watch to be that. You couldn't save the burning building people as
No.
regular Ben Tennyson. You know what I
No,
mean?
you couldn't. But that's not the. That's not
It's
what
a
she was
good
trying
message
to
to
say.
tell
Yeah,
the people
yeah.
watching it. You know
Especially
what I mean?
kids who are never going to
Yeah,
get an
anyone
Omnitrix.
can be a hero.
Yeah, exactly.
But in the context of, if someone had taken my watch, they gave me powers of all those 10 aliens, and they said, you didn't need it to be a hero, I would never talk to you again. That's rude. You know? That's disrespectful.
Real. That's real talk.
Yeah.
Anyway, but that's sort of what they're getting at, I think. Just like you don't need, and then Ben's like, "Well, I saved a whole supermarket, so I deserve a sumo slammer."
Exactly. There's the reward again.
Yeah,
he still
he's-
hasn't learned that the reward is the saving
Yeah.
people.
Yeah,
People are safe now because of you.
But I don't know. It's like, what are you gonna do? Steal merchandise? Like I guess the guy's like, you can have whatever you want, but he's
Yeah.
just gonna like break into a display case and give him a gold sumo slammer card.
I guess.
But then Animo flies away on a parakeet.
Yep.
Or what? Cockatiel? What did we say it was?
Something like that.
Something like that.
Bird.
It doesn't have as crazy of a design as the rest of them.
Pet bird.
Pet bird.
Yeah.
It's not. It's like it doesn't have like horns or like eyes, different
It's
eyes,
just a bigger version. He's
which
angry.
is still scary.
Yeah.
Anyway, all the mutations make them big.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. But Animo flies away and the frog jumps out, and we never see the frog in that. So the frog, for all we
Gone.
know,
He just goes like Louisiana or something.
Louisiana to hang out with Kermit the Frog.
No, I just feel like big old bullfrog's gonna be in the bayou. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. In the bayou.
In the bayou.
Some redneck would try to
Sitting on a
catch
log.
it and like cook it.
Yeah.
That make
Or-
a
Yeah. Cook it.
that would make a big gumbo for days, brother.
Jambalaya.
This
These
here's my
the
mutant
toy stores
frog.
like, get that gator, mama. Get that gator.
Hit it with a shovel
Yeah.
or whatever. Anyway, so Animo flies off, and they're like, "Where's he going?"
Story, I think I meant Monsters.
Oh, Monsters Inc. Yeah.
Yeah.
You idiot.
I'm dumb. I got hit with a shovel. Don't mind me.
Don't mind me. So they go chase after Animo, and then Grandpa's like, "Just like back in the old days."
Yes, that's when we get more allusion to the fact that Grandpa Max has a past,
The secret BA.
and it's gonna come out soon.
Gonna hit hard.
And it's
you're
gonna
gonna feel
be
lied to
it's
a
gonna be
little bit.
freaking awesome, dude. Honestly, then when they go to the freaking Mount Rushmore, dude.
Oh yeah.
Coolest episode.
Super cool. Very cool. It's like one of the. That's like a finale or something. One of the
I
finales.
think it is. I think it's season 1's finale when they
Oh, yeah.
when they fight Vilgax.
That's a good episode,
It's a
dude.
great
And that's the one we were
episode.
talking about before we started recording about.
Yeah.
His Omnitrix is on the fritz, and he's just randomly transforming.
Yeah.
So cool. But so yeah, he's like, what kind of plumber were you?
Yeah,
Glenn's like,
yeah.
What kind of plumber? And he's like, a darn good one.
Yeah, darn good one.
was really funny. The jokes in this land for me a lot better than they did in the first episode. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But Max is funnier. Gwen is funnier.
Gwen has a really good part. So we're gonna go straight to it. When we go to the museum is where he's going to raise the dead.
Yeah, he keeps saying like I'm gonna make prehistory.
Yeah, and you see
Washington BC
So he hits a mammoth with it, and it brings back the mammoth. He hits a T-Rex with it, brings back the T-Rex. So this is where the heroes get split. So this is where we first see Forearms. Ben turns into Forearms to fight the mammoth. Super cool. He ends up like spinning them around. Forearms is a great character design as well, because like you mentioned, he's got the wrestler gloves on. You know, he's beefy.
Yeah, dude. He looks like he's straight up got like power armor, not power, like scaly armor.
Yeah.
He's just
he's got like those bristles.
Design.
But while he's fighting him, Gwen and Grandpa Max are chasing Animo. And they see the bird just square up on him. And without hesitation, Gwen grabs a spear from one of the places, twirls around, beats the crap out of the bird.
She breaks it off on its head.
Yeah. Like, what? She's a 10-year-old girl, you know what I mean? Like, where's she getting that force?
Well, later on, I'm pretty sure they're like, she took karate or something.
But, like, as far as we know, she's just
a 10-year-old. And then she, like, Grandpa Max's face, I'll put it up here. He's
yeah,
so funny.
You gotta show the face, dude. Grandpa Max, like, whoa, what am I feeding these kids? You know what I mean?
What am I feeding? Yeah, exactly. You know, malted mealworms or whatever it was. It's a really good source.
That's where she's getting her protein.
Yeah, bro. Getting all that protein. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about the transformations that Ben has when he turns it. We didn't really touch on it in the first episode.
Yeah.
But, like, we're going to look through this Forearms one right here.
It's wild.
I wanted to just, like, muscles just start coming out of the watch. Like, it's radiating out of the watch. And then the watch just, like, sinks into his skin.
Yeah.
That's a terrifying visual, in my opinion. Look at that. Just goes right in. And then, like, right into his eyeball, man.
Yeah, like, those are some thick veins.
Okay, and he's already, like, maxed out muscle. And he starts popping out two other arms out of either side of him.
It's like, that's not painful at all?
Look at his back, dude. His back is getting so
all
burly,
kinds
bro.
of gains.
This is what happens when you eat one scoop of pre-workout, by the way. So we keep going. He kind of spins around. Look at his face right here, bro. Look at the absolute horror is that face.
Well, I think this is like half a frame. I don't know how you paused on it so well like that.
No, I got quick hands.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
tell you what. Moving along. He does like a big strong guy pose. It's so he feels strong.
Yeah.
And this is sort of like an anime pose here. Look how cool that is, dude.
That's selling some toys right there.
My favorite alien. By far.
Oh, really?
Any of the shows.
You hit it very well.
You think so?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I would have never guessed.
Okay, good deal. So yeah, he's fighting this mammoth, which is like a great fight for a strong hero, like right off the bat.
Oh yeah.
And I love that, like. So okay, yeah, it looks like a stuffed mammoth. By the way, we talked about it. Just looks like.
So like, is there any actual mammoth DNA there, or is that just straight? Someone made a replica of a mammoth. And
it's like sitting out in the open.
Yeah.
So like, how does this ray? For story's sake, it's just like a stuffed real mammoth.
It's gotta work. Yeah.
Yeah. But then he cuts to like the dinosaur, like there's like a T-Rex, and he brings it back, but it's kind of like got chunks missing out of it. I love that it looks like unfinished.
Yeah, like a zombie kind of thing.
It's a zombie T-Rex. What a cool villain. What a very incredibly
Honestly,
cool.
though, I like the toad more.
You like the toad better?
I think the toad just looks cool.
The toad is like its own unique thing. This is sort of like Jurassic Park T-Rex.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Ben bodies the mammoth. He calls it Peanuts.
It's
he
not
calls
even that
it
much
Jumbo.
of a fight. He just kicks its butt.
He spins it around, and he throws up. But this is our first like throw up reference of the show. Did you catch the second throw up joke that they made?
No, what was that one?
Gwen is on stinkfly.
Oh yeah. And he says, "If you throw up on me, you better learn how to fly."
Yeah. But anyway, so the parrot that we were talking about earlier, it obviously is pissed off that Gwen hit it in the face.
Yeah.
So it takes off with her. It's not even following Animo anymore at this point.
It's just
doing its own
we
thing,
got beef,
bro.
sis.
We got big beef.
And
you hit me in the face.
Again, though, she's built different. She's literally getting hung on, and she's just making some
getting,
sly
like,
comment.
Grabbed by her backpack.
But like she's like making fun of her mom, saying, "Go on this trip with your cousin, sweetie. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll be fun." And she's being carried away on this bird, completely calm. What, bro? I would have lost my voice from how much I'm screaming like a little girl, and the little girl's not even screaming.
I know. Well, she's built different until she gets to the.
It's all fun and games
Monument.
until the bird shows that she means business.
Yeah, and I was thinking a lot about Spider-Man: Homecoming in this part because of the Washington Monument part. Grandpa makes the joke. She pulls out her phone and she says, "Mom said only use it for emergencies, right?"
That joke was so used in the mid 2000s for any TV show.
I know, it was
they would
just
pull out
like-
a cell phone and they would be like, "I was only supposed to use this for emergencies." Almost every show you watch where they pull a cell phone.
Yeah,
out.
you got destroyed by a giant. Not destroyed, but you got picked up and slung somewhere by a giant bird. You probably should
call somebody.
phone call someone.
Yeah.
But I wanted to talk about too forearms. Like you would think, some people would just like that he's got 4 arms, so he's only strong like upper body.
Yeah.
But he jumps like the Incredible Hulk.
Oh yeah, launches himself.
Launches himself and he
Clears
grabs
a
the
single
feathers.
building.
Yeah, bro. I mean, he's
These
like
buildings in a single bound.
juiced. He can't hold on to the bird for whatever reason. He crashes down to the earth like the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah,
And he turns back
massive
into
trigger.
a human just right away.
Exactly. Yeah. The timing couldn't have been better.
Timing couldn't. Thank goodness the
Yeah,
timing was
for
what it
real.
was. He would have been splattered all over the pavement.
Yeah.
But that's a cool scene. I mean, I like, forearms is causing a lot of destruction, by the way. He, like,
Yeah, there's no it's like I hope all these people are insured because he wrecks a few buildings.
he, like, destroys priceless artifacts in the museum, man.
Yeah, yeah.
He, like, runs into
Half the museum's gone.
yeah, exactly.
You
They
know?
blow a hole in the middle of the museum.
Yeah.
He, breaks down the city street with a crater.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they go find Gwen, and Stinkfly rescues
This
her.
is when we first see Stinkfly.
I want to pull up his transformation, too, just to kind of play
for
by
sure.
play, go through it. Terrifying. Horrifying. He slammed on the watch. It, like, immediately, like, turns into the bug arm. I don't know. Does it hurt? Maybe not.
That's what I'm saying. For the sake of the story, it can't hurt, or else he'd be complaining about it. You know what I mean?
I also want to talk about, I love Stinkfly's little claw.
Yeah.
Like, he's got 6 legs, like an insect.
Claw.
Ah, claw. But he's also got a little hand.
Yeah.
I just love it. It's just cute. I don't know.
It's the only cute thing about him. Okay, here goes the weird part.
So his face is starting to turn into bug face, and like 4 like
Eye stalks.
yeah, like a slug.
Where are his ears at this point? You know what I
don't
mean?
even know. Just go. I guess does Stinkfly have ears?
This
Maybe
can't
not.
be pleasant.
No, but he's smiling. Look at how happy he is.
Yeah, he's just like, this is awesome.
He's so happy about it.
I'm gonna smell so bad in a second.
Okay. Oh, look at that. And even like, it's like creeping up his face.
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
gum.
And you get the wings sprouting out the back.
Okay, that's got to be bug
The
legs,
legs,
just
yeah.
like sprouting out. It looks like a spider growing out of you.
Wild.
Wild.
He's got the
mutt.
can opener tail.
I like the tail, by the way.
Tail's nice.
Look, Omnitrix.
Whoa.
It shines
Product
up real nice.
placement.
It's on his forehead. Is this like?
That's the thing. Asmith really wanted you to know
Oh yeah,
that it
you're
was the
getting.
Omnitrix.
Well, it's functional because you can like push it and it'll like turn you back into a different alien, or
Right.
like an Ultimate Alien for sure. It like will turn you.
it
into
helped a
different
lot.
alien.
Yeah.
Or not Ultimate. I'm sorry, Alien Force, but
Well,
an Ultimate
later
Alien.
on in this too, he gets he just says it.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
he-
yeah.
that's who he is.
Voice control or
Yeah.
whatever. Anyway, Stinkfly he's one of my favorites just because of how gross and different he looks.
Yeah.
His face almost looks like the alien, like from Ripley.
Yeah. I
Ridley
get
Scott.
that. I can see that.
Ridley Scott. Ripley Scott. Yeah.
Ripley's Believe It or Not, and it's Ridley Scott.
Did you believe it?
No.
I always chose not to believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just different.
No disrespect.
Believe It
I'm
or
just
Not.
built different.
This woman has 117 tattoos. Nah,
No, not for
I
me.
don't believe it.
Yeah, get out of here. All right,
So
this
stupid.
lady has 117 tattoos. Don't care. Next. Don't care.
L plus ratio plus don't care. But no, I like. This is the pinnacle of like you don't get to pick what aliens you turn into.
Right.
But he uses them because he's pretty useful. He's got like
I mean,
goo
he
he can shoot out of him.
fly too.
He
He's
can
got to
fly.
save Gwen.
He's sort of the go-to flyer.
He's the only flyer.
Ghost freak.
Float.
He can. Well, even
Float.
still, he can float up.
He can like ascend.
He can pick Gwen up.
I can't.
You fat.
Can't carry you.
Is that why he says it to Gwen? She's very fat. But yeah, he's got like this. He's got a bunch of different stuff. Like, and I'm sure it works as like a natural habitat. Like
Yeah.
the goo probably helps him build a nest or something, and like fly around. Obviously, he's like a bee mixed with like a slug mixed with like a
Yeah.
fly. I don't know, like a dragonfly.
Yeah. I'm with it.
He's a very cool looking creature, and he's got I like, and his voice is very like
very memorable voice.
pretty sure it's D. Bradley Baker.
Could be. I'm not sure on his voice actor.
He's got one of those like iconic voices. He does a lot of like animal scream sounds and stuff. Anyway, does a great job.
So he saves Gwen.
He saves Gwen with Stinkfly. She calls him Butterfly.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's about. Is that
And
a
he
joke?
wants you to know that he's actually Stinkfly.
Stinkfly
Is a good brand name, in my opinion.
Yeah,
you
he's-
don't want to be known as Butterfly. It's not manly.
I'm a gross bug.
Yeah.
And you're gonna treat me as
But,
such.
like, he doesn't even have to be a gross bug. He could just be the bug. You know what I mean?
Well, no, the bug is gross inherently. It's just a
We're
gross looking
told that.
bug.
No one says, that, oh, he smells. No one says he smells
People
bad.
say he smells bad later.
Yeah, but the first time, he doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm a Stinkfly.
He looks like he smells.
It's like calling, hey, I'm Fatso. You know what I mean? Why would you call yourself Fatso?
What do you think he smells like, Stinkfly?
I don't want to. Probably like. I don't know. What would slime smell like? Sewage, maybe?
He probably smells like poo. Yeah.
Or like sulfur.
Yeah.
Just like a fart. Sulfur smells like a fart.
Big fart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stinkfly, the big fart.
Yeah.
I like him a lot though, and he has time to like save Gwen from the parrot or the cockatiel, whatever we called it.
Just the bird.
The bird.
Bird.
I'm the biggest bird. I'm the biggest bird. I gotta mention that.
We don't. We don't have to mention that. We could have just kept going.
Is that meme dead at this point?
I would say so.
I'm the biggest bird. I'm
And
the
he's
biggest
saying
bird.
it again. He is saying
It's
it again.
funny. It's funny, right? Hey, you think it's
No, guys,
funny,
trust
right?
me, it's real funny. They'll get the joke eventually. Do it the third time. They'll
Okay.
be laughing.
If you say so. Anyway, but this is where Animo's like tromping through the city at this point after Stinkfly saves Gwen.
Mm-hmm.
Ben, we can call him Stinkfly or Ben, either one.
That's Ben.
Same person.
Same person.
Animo's like wrecking stuff, and he's like, "I love my job."
Yeah.
Just like out of nowhere,
Nowhere.
I love my job. And like he stomps into the store, and a gold sumo slammer card just randomly gets stuck up on the dinosaur's like
What are
big
the
toe.
odds? You know?
Not very good.
Yeah. Come on. Even if he gets the card later, there's no way it's in good condition.
No, it's been under a dead
Also,
T-Rex's foot.
I do, a little card dabbling, Nobody is selling a very valuable card in a cereal box. You know how easy it is to get damaged in one of those things?
It's fair. That's fair.
You
That's
try
a
to
good
pull
point.
a super pricey card out of a cereal box?
I wonder if it just doesn't make it's not really like that big of a deal. Ben just thinks it is.
Oh, yeah. In his mind, it's like the coolest thing.
Yeah.
I would say when we got Yu-Gi-Oh cards from McDonald's as kids, we thought that was the coolest thing ever. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Pokemon, like the 3D Pokemon cards.
You got like a Pikachu.
what? And it's like a
Crazy.
special kind of crappy one that
Yeah.
no one likes. It's like an overproduced card.
Yeah, it's definitely overproduced if it's in Walmart, McDonald's.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, that's a funny little detail, but Animo goes to steal the award that he feel like he got cheated out of,
Yeah,
and he's using a giant T-Rex that's been
he
brought
wants
back
to
from the
take
dead.
the actual guy and eat him.
Yeah,
The guy who actually won the award. He was like, you know what? This T-Rex is gonna eat him
I'm gonna kill this man, murder
Yeah.
him, even though he doesn't kill anyone
just
else.
to get an award.
Yeah.
No one's gonna recognize you without award now. You know
But
what
to
I mean?
be fair, imagine how dope it would be, right? He's like out here, and I'm sure he got kicked out of whatever he was doing because of malpractice, because he's a evil genius,
Yeah.
But imagine he's like, "Hey, I can bring dinosaurs back to life." And they're like, "You're sick. You're a gross, oh man, freak. You freak." And
Yeah.
he's like, "Okay, whatever." So he goes and does his own thing.
They're a little harsh, but
A year or two later, come back with a freaking undead T-Rex. Was I crazy? Was I crazy? You like the
yes,
T-Rex?
you're still crazy. But good on you for following your dreams.
Scratch you with my little claws.
I don't know if his arm could reach him. Or are you talking about Animo just straight up scratches him?
Yeah. Let's talk about too. What? Did the animals follow his orders?
I think so.
Probably.
Or in the fact that maybe they just both wanted carnage at that point. You know what I mean?
I guess so, because if you mutate an animal, it kind of reminds me of Guardians 3.
They're just angry.
Yeah.
Their hormones are all out of whack.
Yeah.
They don't know what to do. They're just in a weird primal rage.
Do you remember in Guardians 3 where
Yeah.
the High Evolutionary made the hybrids or whatever, but they all freaked
They
out
were-
and
yeah.
started getting violent? Same sort of thing.
I think so.
But I think they all kind of work towards a goal. I think they know that Animo mutated him and gave him power, so they're like,
Oh, we'll follow you.
you can ride on me.
You're a cool dude.
You're cool.
Yeah.
There may be an element of control to it. I don't know.
Yeah. Weird kink.
King control?
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Like, oh, you want to control me?
Dommy mommy, perhaps? But so Stinkfly shows up, and then he knocks, Animo
The
steals
easiest
the
way
award.
to finish it. He just knocks the helmet right off his head.
Yeah.
The helmet's the thing that's controlling.
The
I would
moose
think. Yeah.
horns or
Yeah.
whatever they call them.
So they knock the helmet off. The helmet hits the ground. We're assuming it hit a button or it broke or something. It
Yeah.
sends out this pulse wave and
So it's kind of like a receiver in the end.
yeah.
It was like you know, like the parrot or the bird or whatever, and the rat, I'm assuming, and like the T-Rex for sure.
The hamster.
The hamster, sorry.
Hamster.
You know, hamsters are just like that. They didn't even need to mutate them. Just grow them up a little bit.
Get them a little bit bigger, they'll eat you.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I got no doubts about that. Hamsters are crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. So I'm assuming it's some sort of receiver thing. Kind of hits a button and turns everything back to normal.
Right.
Ben, like, sacrifices the gold sumo slammer card. This is the final, like, step on his journey of, like, self-discovery and heroic.
Yeah, he even makes the comment because he sees the sumo slammer card, and then he sees the dinos about to eat the guy. And he sees the card over here, and he goes, "Man, this hero job ain't easy." And it's like, no, it's not. You're supposed to make. Personally, it's not a hard decision to not get the sumo slammer card and get that. But, you know, for Ben,
he could have done
it's a hard decision.
If he was more experienced. He could have gooped it with his eyeball. Got it.
Stuck it
but
to
then
his
it's
eye.
got goo on it. You don't want all that.
It's in rubble. The card's not good. It's bent.
crunched
I'm
up
telling you,
anyway.
these guys are brutal when it comes to card grading. There's like a weird scratch in the back.
Not to mention gross
Trash.
stinkfly goo, and it
Exactly.
stinks forever.
But yeah, he makes the comment, and then he goes and he saves the guy, and you see all this rubble fall down on the card, so there's no way to get the card later.
And then, like, you know, toward the end of it, like, after they stop Animo at one point is like, persistent. You're so persistent. I hate that. And it's like, it's a literal child and another child and an old man. And you're like, I hate just kill him. You're like a healthy dude. Just like go up and
We're not advocating the murder, but if you're so against it, you're a grown man. Do something about it.
You just pull out a gun. You don't need to make a mammoth. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing?
Why you get the walk up to the guy with the award, pull out a gun. Hey, I want that. He goes, cool, man. Here you go. But he wanted to be proven. They wanted to prove that he could do it and earn the award, I guess.
But did he really earn it if he just steals it anyway?
Well, he used his creations to steal it.
It's a power move for sure.
Yeah,
it's a power move.
But yeah, that's how I wrapped it up.
Basically, they sort of stop Animo. They wait until morning time. The police come.
Yeah.
I guess they're like checking evidence. I don't know. Whatever.
Weird.
I wonder, did Ben and Grandpa and Gwen take credit because they're all outside and they're just like standing with the police? Like,
I don't think so. I think you'll learn later. There's like a military guy who's been watching Ben and these aliens.
Oh, you're right.
Go all over the
Kevin 11.
Yeah. In that episode, yeah. And you're like, this guy. They're on the radar of the people, but I don't think they publicly take the credit.
Yeah, they're not like.
It's just the background people are like, we know you guys are here.
The government.
Whenever there's an alien, you three are there. It's like the McGonagall scene from Harry Potter.
But not even alien. Like, this didn't have any alien in it. It's just the only alien's Ben's transformations. Like, this is all just like human mutation, animal mutation.
But I'm just saying, like, anytime there's an alien in the United States, they're there.
Or any kind of weirdness, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, it just follows them somehow.
Yeah.
Anyway. But yeah, so Ben even makes the comment, he's like, sounds familiar, you know, the Animo's like in the cop car screaming, he's like, I want my award, where's my award?
Yeah.
I'm a surgeon. I won't bring that up again, unless it's funny, and
it's always funny right now.
It is pretty funny. And so Ben's like, that sounds familiar. So he understands, and he sees the mirror of like Animo. And then I guess later on he's like, well, like they're leaving Washington, B.C.
Not anymore.
No, it's DC now. Yeah, it's just destroyed and everything's all messed up.
Destroyed city. That's what the DC stands for.
There's a lot of Jurassic Park in this. I don't know. That was a funny joke. I
think so too. Thank you for acknowledging it.
But like even the T-Rex going through the town, it kind of reminds me of Jurassic Park 2, where like the T-Rex is in San Diego or somewhere.
San Diego.
That's
where we're at.
Yeah. But then I don't know. It's a good little. There's good little references and stuff. It's not like. It's not overly advert, and it's not like ham-fisted or nothing. I think it does a good job.
No, yeah.
But yeah, so Ben like steals his little chess piece or whatever, and he's like,
as a souvenir.
Yeah, and then he even acknowledges he's like, saving the city was its own reward.
Yeah.
So he did it.
He gets it.
He learns it.
Full story in 22 minutes.
Now later on, I'm sure he's gonna have to learn the same episode, same message in a different.
I don't
episode.
know if you guys realize this is episode 2 yet, but I mean, Ben's kind of dumb.
Ben's kind of very dumb, even
very
like as
dumb.
a teenager. Like Alien Force Season 1 is the only time you see him like being adults, like being actual.
After that,
up.
they're like, I think the writers are definitely like, no, he kind of needs to be a moron.
I kind of wonder too if it was like executives being like, we like when Ben's dumb.
Yeah, but it's like he can be a capable person. We've seen it in Ben 10,000, and people love Ben 10,000.
I love Ben 10,000.
I would watch a Ben 10,000 show.
Love for more episodes of that, or just a show or something. They should put that on Max. That would be a great Max like run
Run it.
Yeah, run it, bro.
Way better than that Velma show.
No, Velma's sick, dude. You guys seen Velma?
You'd have to pay me to watch that.
It's so funny that you brought it up earlier, and I had forgotten all about it until you thought you just
the
brought
show?
it up, the show.
Yeah, most people try to.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, if you didn't enjoy this episode, give it a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Subscribe
We just
to us.
we
you
just
know.
want your likes, honestly.
Drop us a comment. What did you think about this? Who was your favorite alien that was introduced in this one? What was yours? Forearms, right?
It had to be forearms, is without a doubt.
But Stinkfly's got some good elements.
Yeah, but you just can't be forearms as an introduction.
I'm curious what people think about Animo too. Drop us a comment on Animo. What do you think about the good doctor?
You know, feel free to tell me that I'm wrong about the gray matter thing. I think most people will agree, though, that gray matter is not good.
He's the lamest out of the 10.
100%.
Yeah, I think everyone would agree.
But yeah, let us know what you think down in the comments below.
Okay, bye.
See ya.